The Recruiter by Derrick Lam. Audio abridged version of Chapter 1. Ebook and paperback editions available on Amazon. Warning. This audio contains violence and strong language. Prologue. 2061, 20 years ago, the World Trade Protocol brought an end to global poverty. In this prosperous society, crime and violence are rare.
Chapter 1. As he climbed towards the fire exit door on the 17th floor, the assassin mentally rehearsed his movements. He stopped and checked his watch. The plan was simple. He had 60 seconds to rush from the exit door to the target apartment. Then he had to kill his target and complete the assignment within 5 minutes. But the window of time had to start exactly at the designated moment. He knew the target apartment's security system would be disabled, the surveillance cameras in the hallway blacked out, and the other apartment doors locked. He thought the hardest part of the job was cleaning up the apartment after the kill, which was the second objective of his assignment. He had to find and destroy all data storage devices, including the storage module for the home control system. After a deep breath and a final glimpse at his watch, he started the countdown. His footsteps were muffled by the plush carpet in the corridor. As he gently opened the apartment door, the assassin gripped tightly his ninja dagger, the kunai, in his right hand. He had memorized the layout of the apartment, but his problem, he knew, was finding the target. As he stepped into the doorway, he sensed movement behind the door. He jumped into a forward roll, just as a metal object swung into the space where his head would have been. He instantly twisted his body as he rolled to face his target. Once he landed on his feet, it was a quick leap into his victim. Barbara had no chance against a highly trained killer. By the time her kitchen knife had reached the end of her swing arc, the kunai was already deep in her heart. She could not even scream. The assassin's left hand had covered her mouth, making it hard to breathe. Her death was another case of a sanctioned assassination. In a world where random violence is rare, reporting of such crime was censored. Citizens do not need to know that their fellow citizens could do such evil. The police administration office was a standard 20th century building that had previously been the head office for a multinational financial corporation. From the late 2020s, office workers had the right to work from home, granted by law. WTP rules codified this work culture through labor laws and building codes. The notification message popped up on her second display screen with an electronic buzz. Inspector Zara Ocon clicked on the hyperlink to see that the final case report had been reviewed and signed off by her superiors. It was a case that raised questions, she thought. Yet, it was clear it had been an assassin's hit. The data logs from the apartment complex showed that entry into the victim's apartment was programmed. Someone had hacked the video surveillance system, just like previous cases where trained assassins were the culprits. Except, to the inspector's surprise, the final minutes when the apartment cameras switched the signal to the apartment's cloud storage provider. When the storage module was disconnected, the video in the home control system continued the feed to the backup. A minor oversight by the killer, mused the inspector. At least now the police had a fuzzy image of the killer. He was wearing a hooded jacket, but his face was clear enough for AI facial recognition algorithms to work. The crime scene analysis concluded that the victim, Barbara Davis, had tried to fight back and may have anticipated the attack. This fact confused Ocon. Every previous case that involved an assassin was planned and executed to a level approaching perfection. Could this killer be a novice assassin? The autopsy also showed signs that an assassin was responsible, the use of a kunai and the strike to the heart. As Ocon scrolled to the end of the report, a video call notification popped up on her main display screen. It was a call from Detective Harry Chong. She clicked on the answer button and moved the report to her second display screen. Chang's image popped into her main screen. Hey, Harry. Ma'am, I see you're reviewing the Davis case report. I'm free to provide feedback if you want. Okon checked her second screen and saw that Chong had also opened the report. Thanks. Good report. But I do have a question about the motive. Any ideas? Oh, plenty. However, I can't put speculation into a case report. I know, sighed Okon. Just wanted to know your professional opinion. Sure. Chang's tone suggested hesitation and reluctance. Look, Harry, I'm cool that you sent the report straight up the chain. Did the chief inspector ask you in person? Got the message loud and clear from the chief inspector's office manager. Sorry, I should have warned you. No problem. Back to the motive. Chong looked away to his other screen for a moment. He wanted to organize his explanation, thought Okon. Ma'am, this may take a while. Free for the next 30 minutes. Sure, let's do it now. Chong turned his attention to his other screen. After a few moments, he began to deliver his hypothesis. The victim, Barbara Davis, was recently promoted to a data security analyst with the Data Integrity Agency, the DIA, after an intensive 12-month training period. The DIA was established to protect data collected by government agencies and businesses according to WTP rules governing data security and privacy. Ironically, the agency's access to sensitive data made it the preferred target for all sorts of anti-WTP groups. It was clear that the victim had access to sensitive data. The fact that data storage devices were taken by the assassin from the victim's apartment also pointed to this association. The crime scene, the 17th floor apartment of the Lotus Garden estate, was in an affluent residential area where the management class lived. Violent crime and property theft were almost non-existent in these areas. Therefore, Chong concluded that, being a targeted crime, the motive had to be related to the data that was stolen. What about an ex-partner looking for a compromising sex video? Asked Okon. Possible, but unlikely. Remember, physical storage devices are old tech. Data in the cloud is the default. So, what's the point of taking something that's only a copy? Replied Chong. True, but there's one thing that bothers me. This looks like an assassination, a targeted hit job, but it also looks like a diversion. Someone wants us to think it's political. You may be right, ma'am, but I still think the motive is linked to the data. Well, we may never get a chance to find out. The DI is involved. They'll take it from us. I know, sighed Chong. Okon closed the report on her screen and pressed the final status button, open but suspended. Ma'am, there's one more thing. Okon turned to face the video screen. The victim is the daughter of a high-ranking intelligence official, Ms. Abby Beckett, said Chong. Okon sat silently until the tension was unbearable. Fuck, she said in shock. Chong softly replied, Davis is the father's surname, and the victim's parents divorced when she was 6. Why isn't there any news feed about this murder? Asked Okon. I didn't find out until I was contacted by Ms. Beckett herself. I almost shit myself. In their silence, the two appeared to think through the complications. Fuck. I guess a cover-up is expected when a senior government official is involved. I understand why this relationship is so low profile. Both mother and victim are involved in the intelligence community. That doubles the secrecy, said Chong. This case is definitely above me. I want nothing to do with this, said Okon. After a calm moment, Chong reached the same conclusion. Was there anything else you wanted to know, ma'am? No. Thanks, Harry. After Chong left the call, Okon turned to gaze out the office window. She caught a glimpse of her reflection. 2 more years to retirement, she thought. Her motivation for police work had never been high since the WTP rules came into effect, but this latest case felt like the final blow to her career. When she joined as a young cadet almost 40 years ago, police work was about catching bad people. Now, she thought it was all about staying on the right side of the political tide. Do you need a membership card to be part of the ruling class? Of course not. She believed that people who can influence serious issues do not need to be labeled. They have the confidence to do things knowing they will not be questioned. She was not one of them.